Oh boy. So imagine my surprise when I sit down after a long day of work and I see Twitter is exploding and a lot of my social media pages are also kind of blowing up about this news, and I guess this is something that happy Persona 5 release date, guys. It's a great game. You really do, you should play it, all of it. Just play it right now. But outside of that, I guess I should address what kind of happened today. There was a massive bomb dropped by Atlus, and it kind of affects a lot of content creators when it comes down to this whole fan base, because Persona in its own right is a fantastic series, and I like covering it, I like playing their games, and a lot of other people do. But imagine our surprise when Atlus came out today and basically had this blog post, this very lengthy blog post about streaming and video content when it comes to Persona 5. Oh boy, here we go. So the main body of the blog is basically this: hey, our new game came out, could you not spoil it for others? And that's a fair assessment. I mean, you don't want your game that you've been waiting for a while to be spoiled. A lot of people have kind of sworn off the internet, they've gone off Twitter and things like that to avoid Persona spoilers. I understand that completely. But then came the big problem. At the end of the blog, they basically put down the line, they drew the line in the sand, and they said, you can't play past July 7th in the game. That's the game date, because Persona 5 runs on an actual schedule, a calendar, so therefore you can't play past a certain point in the story and record it or stream it. If you do so, you are prone to getting copyright strikes or knocks against your account, be it streaming or otherwise. What? Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that. I mean, I kind of saw it coming, because chances are if you're playing Persona 5, you may have noticed that when your trophy triggers, it's not taking a screenshot, or you're not able to press the share button, and if you do press the share button, it's old footage from a game long ago, something else you were playing, maybe even the prologue, because I think the prologue is actually not blocked when it comes to sharing, and that kind of highlights the issue here. Basically, sharing is disabled. They turn it off after the first initial cutscene within the game for the whole entire game. You're not allowed to share any of it. No screenshots, no video, no nothing. The share button is basically regulated to in case you accidentally press it, and it exists again. Hey, that's cool. But this kind of underlies an issue that I've been having as a content creator, and a lot of people have, and I have to say it's a dangerous precedent in a way. This whole idea of cutting off all this content just because you don't want spoilers. Well, there's a few issues with this, Atlus. I love you guys, I'm just kind of confused, because this whole thing is weird. So, when it comes down to me, when it started with Persona at least, I was not the biggest fan. I'll admit, when I was like, oh, I mean, that seems like a fun game, but it wasn't until I watched, or at least watched a portion of Persona 4 Endurance Run, I believe it was the Giant Bomb one, and I found myself really enjoying the game, and of course, the commentators and things like that. It was thanks to them that I was able to see, hey, I really like this game, it seems really enjoyable, I want to do something like that, I want to play this game myself, and then I started playing Persona 4 Golden, had a lot of fun, and I'm still going with it. I actually went back and played Persona 3 because of it as well, so in general, video content kind of drove me to the Persona series in a way. And that's always so strange to me, when companies decide, no, we don't want this. Nintendo has had a habit of this. They make, creating content on YouTube kind of a hassle in a lot of ways. They put all of their, music on Content ID claim. You can't make any money off of it. No big deal. Still making content for it, but you can't really make, any money off of, Nintendo stuff these days. And that kind of sucks. But this is a whole new level, and I admire it. I do. I do enjoy the fact that, you're trying to keep spoilers from coming out. I do. But here's the problem with this. There's a few of them, actually. One, if you really wanted spoilers to, not be as prevalent as they are, but while your game has been out for 3 months already in Japan, chances are if people really wanted to spoil themselves, well, they already went well on ahead and did that, because it's everywhere. I still see videos of it on YouTube right now to this day. And unfortunately, this seems to be something that kind of comes along with Japanese companies, at least some Japanese video companies, not all of them, but some of them they really want to hold up their copyright end of the whole deal, and, you know, we've seen it with Nintendo and their claims, but now we're seeing it with Atlus and their whole idea of trying to keep spoilers at bay. Simply put, you can't really do that. There's no real, stopping the floodgates. I really wish you would reconsider this, because when it comes down to it, a lot of people judge what they're going to buy from watching things on YouTube, seeing reviews on whatever website you're looking at, and, watching their favorite streamer. Gaming now is more social than ever. There's a reason why the newer consoles have this whole share functionality. People like talking about games. They like talking about what's on the screen, what they've been doing in their game. Not every game's similar, and while Persona 5 does follow a track when it comes down to storyline, you're still doing different things. You're experimenting with different character setups, you're experimenting with different confidants, doing different things with your time, which is limited in this game. What I'm trying to say here is that not everyone's experience is going to be the same, and it's typically a lot more interesting to share that experience with others, especially now that social media is a big part of it. YouTube is, of course, part of that. We share videos every day from this website. Twitter, Twitch, people go to these sites to not only be a part of a game, but also to enjoy the person that's playing it as well. Simply put, it's not simply that. I mean, for me, I didn't get into the Persona series until I saw a video on it, and I saw an endurance run, and then I was like, wow, this seems really fun. I really like, how it works here. I'm gonna try it out. That's my experience. I tend to look at other people's enjoyments and think, hey, maybe that'll be fun for me as well. And typically, I don't really even look at reviews anymore. I just look them up on YouTube. Or I talk to my friends and we share experiences via whatever, video, sharing, all sorts of other things. It's a completely different dynamic now, and I feel that this whole cutting off a big portion of the game just because you want to avoid spoilers is a very, very slippery slope. And I don't encourage it. And I really, really hope you will consider a different course of action, Atlus, because let's be honest here, I don't want to, I want to create a Let's Play on it. I'm working on that. I'm doing it, but I'm doing it at my own pace, and, video every day. Eventually, I'm going to get to July 7th, and at that point, what do? Do I just stop playing entirely? Do I hope that maybe by that time you lift this whatever weird ban that you have when it comes to copyright strikes, that perhaps just maybe you will allow it? And I'll be honest, there's a lot of content creators that I know personally as friends who live and breathe Persona. And it's such a shame to see this happen, because they do such great jobs and they promote the hell out of the series. But here's the other thing that I find really ironic. Persona 5 on its own is, again, fantastic game, but its story is all about emancipation, trying to overcome and become free of whatever problems you have, basically. Become a rebel. And here we are with Atlus, who's basically like, no, you can't do any of this past a certain point, just don't do it. Does it seem kind of ironic and somewhat parallel to what your game is basically saying in some ways? To overcome the norms and hopefully not be held down by the chains that bind you, in a sense? It just seems so weird to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should Atlus try and at least maybe let this whole, I wouldn't mind claims. You guys can have all the claims you want, really. It doesn't matter. It's your game. I admire it. But I'm trying to create content for my fan base that they enjoy, and they love your games, and they've bought your games off of my suggestions and things like that, and watching me play. So, it's not a bad idea to embrace the social portions of gaming, and I feel it's a terrible misstep that you're trying to sequester it. Even a little bit. I don't mind claims. You can have all the claims. You could take all the advertisement from all of my videos that are based around your Persona series, and I would be fine with it. It means you're getting more money, sure. I love your games. That's an easy cost to take. But I can't take a copyright strike. That is just too much. In this system that's already kind of screwy, this is just another nail in that kind of coffin there. So it's really disheartening. And I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, we'll have a plot twist and someone will steal, Atlus's treasure, and maybe they'll have a change of heart. just my whole 2 cents on the thing, because this has been a crazy morning, and it's definitely getting crazier as the day goes on. So, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and love you all to death.